Hey guys, time for a new Roomba video. This time, we'll service this motor. Okay, to get this one out, it's pretty easy. We've got to take the base off again, like we did last time when we put the bearings in here. So it's just the usual 4 screws. And this is a module here, so we've got 2 screws, 1 and 2, to pull that one out. It's a great idea with the Roomba setup, everything's all modular. So that's what we're going to play with today. One thing I'll just, as a point of interest, this little wheel here, you want to make sure this is always clean. You can just pull it out because there's a sensor in here and it senses this color changing as it rolls around. So if you find that your Roomba is giving errors and it can't figure out where it is, or it's, you know, not acting 100% correct, try cleaning out inside here. Also, you can pop this wheel out and clean all the dust around, and you can actually push this shaft out as well, because sometimes dust gets inside and it gets a bit tight. You want that to be nice and freely spinning. As long as that's all clean, that'll work perfectly. Anyway, we'll get that out of the way. This is what we're interested in. Okay, so to get inside this, we've got a tri-wing screw here, kind of like a Phillips head, but it's got 3 instead of 4 blades, and there's a clip, so we can kind of just take it off this way. Now, if you've got a really small flathead, you can get in there and use that to undo it. It'll come out. Ideally, you have a tri-wing driver, but if you don't have that, then what can you do? So you'll find that you get dirt and hair coming in through here, and if you push this one out, I've already been in here, I'll clean this out and re-grease it, but the hair gets around here and can kind of gum it up and stop it from turning properly. So we can take the gears out, and I'm going to take the motor off just so I can clean this properly. And there's our motor. Now when you put it back in, it can only go in one way. You see this hole here at the top? There's a little pin inside where that locates. So make sure you don't force in the wrong way, otherwise it's not going to sit square and it'll jam up. So you've got to just make sure it goes in nicely and clicks into that. The pin clicks into that hole there, and it'll be all no worries. There's only one way around it can go in. So when you get it apart like this, it's a matter of just giving it a clean and putting it back together with some new grease. Just make sure you don't use anything too volatile, like no acetone and no thinners to clean this, because the plastic will just melt. Isopropyl alcohol and that sort of thing is okay, and of course dishwashing liquid and, you know, soaps and stuff like that. Just make sure it's perfectly dry before you put the grease in and put it back together. Okay, so I got this all greased up and cleaned out and ready to go back together. And I went ahead and put a bearing in here on the output shaft. It's probably not needed. I actually wouldn't recommend doing it unless you're really bored. I just thought, oh, I'll see if it works, and it does. You have to do the same modification to the gear as you do with the other the brush cleaner, which you've seen in an earlier video, where you just grind down the shaft a bit so it'll fit in there, and then you've got to cut the hole in the blue section larger to fit. But yeah, it'll help, but it's probably not that critical. The main thing is to take it apart, clean it out and re-grease it and put it back together. But yeah, it is possible to put a bearing there. There's not really anywhere else to put bearings in here, just on the output shaft there. But yeah, that's basically all it is inside, ready to go back together. So we just clip that close there, and then we put our screw in. And with that, it's all rebuilt, ready to go back together, back in the Roomba. No worries. Alright, so we'll put that back in. And to install it, it's just plonk it straight in. and do up the 2 screws. I'll put the cover back on. And then it's a matter of sticking our little sweeper and with that we are done. Alright, I hope that helps you out and we'll see you next time.